In March 2025, something unprecedented happened. The United States government, the most powerful military force in human history, needed to negotiate with a single private citizen just to keep its drones flying. That citizen was Elon Musk, and the tool he controls, Starlink. A constellation of over 10,000 satellites that now accounts for 65% of every active satellite in orbit around Earth. Think about that number for a second. Not 65% of commercial internet satellites, 65% of all satellites, military, scientific, commercial combined. Starlink has become the central nervous system of modern warfare. Ukrainian soldiers use it to guide drones. Pentagon test fleets depend on it. Even Russia's military, officially sanctioned, has been caught using smuggled Starlink terminals on the front lines, and all of it runs through one man's company. This isn't just a tech story, it isn't just a business story. It's the story of how one private citizen quietly became a gatekeeper of global connectivity, and why that should terrify every government on Earth. This is the Starlink monopoly. The numbers behind Starlink are almost too large to process. As of June 2026, SpaceX has launched over 10,400 Starlink satellites into low Earth orbit, about 550 kilometers above your head. That's roughly 3 times the altitude of the International Space Station, low enough for ultra-fast, low-latency internet, but high enough to blanket the entire planet. The genius of the design is the scale itself. Traditional satellite internet used massive, expensive geostationary satellites parked 35,000 kilometers up. Response time was terrible, like talking across a room with a 600 millisecond delay on every word. Starlink satellites, orbiting close and communicating via laser links, cut that to under 40 milliseconds. SpaceX currently launches Starlink satellites almost weekly on Falcon 9 rockets. But the real acceleration is coming from Starship, which can carry 50 next-generation satellites per launch. What used to take months to deploy will take weeks. The FCC has already authorized SpaceX to deploy 15,000 satellites. SpaceX has applied for up to 42,000. For context, the total number of active satellites from every nation and company combined before Starlink was around 2,000. Elon Musk didn't just build a satellite internet company. He built the orbital equivalent of controlling every highway, every undersea cable, and every cell tower on the planet simultaneously. Starlink generated $11.4 billion in revenue in 2025. That's a 50% jump year over year, and it now represents roughly 61% of all SpaceX revenue. The service has crossed 10 million active subscribers, households, ships, aircraft, and governments spread across more than 150 countries. But here's where it gets truly asymmetric. Starlink isn't just winning the consumer market, it's winning every market simultaneously. Aviation, Starlink Aviation is now operating on more than 2,500 aircraft. Lufthansa is rolling it out across 850 planes. IAG, which owns British Airways, is deploying it across 500. Maritime, cargo ships, oil rigs, cruise lines, anyone operating far from shore now depends on Starlink. Government and military, this is where it gets sensitive. SpaceX proposed charging the Pentagon up to $500 million upfront plus $100 million per month for a custom military capability. When no equivalent alternative exists, that's not a price, that's a ransom. Italy considered a €1.5 billion national contract with Starlink for secure government connectivity, even as Europe struggles to complete its own rival system, IRIS-2. This is what monopoly infrastructure looks like. It's not a company charging more for premium service. It's a company becoming so embedded in critical systems that saying no becomes unthinkable. February 2022. Russia invades Ukraine. Within 48 hours, Elon Musk tweets a single image, a truck pulling up to a Ukrainian border crossing with a pallet of Starlink terminals. What happened next changed warfare forever. Ukrainian forces connected Starlink terminals to drones, turning commercial off-the-shelf consumer tech into precision strike platforms. Command posts that had no reliable communications suddenly had military-grade bandwidth. Soldiers in trenches could stream live drone footage and coordinate counterattacks in real time. By mid-2022, over 150,000 Ukrainians, By 2024 and 2025, Starlink wasn't a backup, it was the primary communications noticed. When traditional jamming couldn't stop it, they did what any military does. Russian forces obtained Starlink terminals through parallel import schemes, Central Asia and Asia. Russian strike drones were being spotted with Starlink terminals bolted directly onto them, both sides of the same war, running on the same private network. SpaceX for software update in January 2026, disabling connections at speeds above 70 kilometers per hour, effectively grounding drone use. But that fix also disrupted Ukrainian trains, evacuation vehicles, and battlefield units on the move. One company, one software switch, two armies affected. The obvious question, why can't someone else build this? The honest answer, they're trying and they're losing. Amazon's Project Kuiper raised billions and began launches in 2025. But Amazon's constellation target is around 3,200 satellites. Starlink already has 10,400. By the time Kuiper is fully deployed, Starlink may have 20,000. OneWeb, now part of Eutelsat, operates 648 satellites at higher altitude, focusing on enterprise and government clients. Technically functional, but a fraction of Starlink's capacity, speed, and scale. Europe's IRIS-2 program, the official rival, has been delayed for years by bureaucratic gridlock and is still years from competitive deployment. China has plans for its own mega constellation, called Guoang, with up to 13,000 satellites authorized. But China's launch cadence is a fraction of SpaceX's. At current speed, they're a decade behind. The structural problem is what economists call a natural monopoly. Starlink's advantage compounds with every new satellite. More satellites means more coverage, lower latency, more users. More users means more revenue. More revenue means faster launches. You cannot catch up by launching 100 satellites a year when your competitor launches 100 every few weeks. The moat isn't technology. It's orbital physics and industrial momentum. Once you control this much of the sky, geography itself becomes your competitive advantage. Here's where we actually are. Elon Musk controls the communications layer of modern warfare. He controls the internet backbone for over 150 countries. Governments that want to go to war need his cooperation. Governments that want to keep their populations connected depend on his infrastructure. And governments that want to compete need to build something he already built at massive cost across an entire decade while he keeps expanding. Foreign Policy magazine put it best, Starlink isn't just a commercial connectivity service, it's strategic infrastructure. A private company is now a gatekeeper in orbit, deciding who connects, where, under what conditions, and with what constraints. The 21st century geopolitical order was supposed to be defined by nations, by governments, by democratic accountability. Instead, the most critical communications infrastructure on Earth is owned by one man who answers to no parliament, no electorate, and no treaty. History is full of monopolies: railroads, oil, steel. But those monopolies controlled resources on the ground. Starlink controls the sky, and when you control the sky, you control everything that happens underneath it. If this video made you think differently about who really controls the world, hit subscribe, because we're just getting started.